in number. Okay. Right. Now I begin with this unit, drama. First of all, do you have some doubts? Do you have some doubts that you have to ask from the section? Or should I continue just from the very beginning and just give you a fresh insight to what has been already done in the class? Okay, now I begin. I think you don't have a doubt at present and you will be asking. Last 15 minutes I'll keep for doubt clearance. So what is drama? First of all, जो आपके syllabus में है, it is 20th century drama. Now, before going to the 20th century drama, I would discuss the definitions of drama and the origin of the drama, how drama originated and how drama developed, went through different forms, and in 20th century, what is the drama? Okay. So drama, is called mother of all arts. Why? Because drama informs, it educates, it entertains. Okay. So this word drama, this comes from the Greek word. And the word drama in Greek, it means to act, to do, or to perform. It is a literary form. That is why in literature we study drama as a separate paper. Drama is, in literature, it is designed for theatre. It has to be staged. It has to be acted. And so the characters, they are assigned different roles and they act out of their roles. So the action is enacted on the stage. And what is drama? In simple words, we can say drama is imitation of life. Life जैसे हम जीते हैं, उसी का ही एक पिक्चर, उसी का ही एक रूप हम ड्रामा में देखते हैं. तो ड्रामा is an imitation of life. Drama is different from all other forms of literature like fiction, prose, and so on. It has got some unique characteristics. It is a means of communication like all branches of literature, but it is unique. It imitates life. Actors, they take on the different roles. Okay, so now we see, drama, it will mirror the life, it will mirror the customs, manner, general living habits of the people. This is all that we see. And who defined drama in the beginning? The first name that comes to our mind is Aristotle. And this happened in 450 BC. He wrote a treatise. Treatise is a document. He wrote a treatise and the name of that treatise is Poetics. In Poetics, Aristotle writes what is drama, what are the different types of the drama. And on what basis is he discussing drama? He is discussing drama on the basis of the dramas that were written during or before his period. Aristotle was of Greek origin. He belonged to Greece. So drama in Greece were written during that period by Euripides, Plautus, Sophocles. These are all the names of the Greek dramatists. And they were writing tragedies, some were writing comedies, and on the basis of that, Aristotle, he gave the whole treatise that what are the elements that should be present in tragedy, what are the elements that should be present in comedy, why tragedy is tragedy. So these all things were described by Aristotle. Then there have been different other people from the field of literature also who have tried to define drama. So I'll show you the presentation in which we will discuss how Aristotle, because he is the one who is considered to be the first person describing drama. Okay, so we would be doing Aristotle in detail today. I'll give at least 15 minutes. I have divided the class according the timing, according the slots into slots. And 15 minutes I think we can devote to Aristotle. He deserves that before going to 20th century drama. Okay, but before that, let me, there's Aditi Sikkarwar in the class, so let's take her in. Yes. See, they if you want to know the definitions of different literary terms, for that, the best book that I would recommend is by M.H. Abrahams. He has written a glossary of literary terms. Right. In this glossary of literary terms, M.H. Abraham has defined all the literary terms, in which he has defined drama also. So he says that drama is a composition designed for performance in the theater. Drama, basic idea behind drama is to be performed, not to be read. We are reading drama, but the main purpose of drama is to be enacted, to be performed, in which the actors will take the roles of the characters. Exact words of the definition you can just go on internet and search there, but basically what he has said in this definition is that drama is to be performed, and the actors, they take various roles and they perform that particular action. They have written dialogues prepared which they speak in their drama. Okay, so let me begin with the presentation now. Let me take the Aristotle's presentation first. Oh, yeah. I think you can see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, understanding drama. So without Aristotle, we cannot understand drama, because look back in anger we did. We say he is Jimmy is an anti-hero. So why is he an anti-hero? What is the definition of hero? Who is hero? So these all things are discussed by Aristotle, and on the basis of Aristotle's definition only we classify the characters into such categories, like he is an hero, he's an entire hero, and so on. He's a tragic hero. Who is tragic hero? Right? See, these all definitions are given by Aristotle. Aristotle gave theory of mimesis. Mimesis means imitation, copy, to copy down something as it is. So Aristotle gave theory of mimesis. He said that imitation is the common principle of all fine arts. Whatever fine arts, what is fine arts? Fine arts includes poetry, comedy, tragedy, dancing, music, any instrument playing, painting, sculpture.
Ma'am, anything which
Yes,
involves some sort of creativity.
yes, correct. Anything that involves some sort of creativity is fine arts. Okay. Now, what do we do in fine arts? What do we create? Basically, at its root, we imitate what we see, in life, what we see in nature, what we see around us, or what we imagine inside us. So these all things are imitated. But there is difference between the term imitation and mimesis. This also has been explained. When we say imitation, imitation means mere copying. So only imitation cannot be fine arts. As you said, that creativity is added to it. Writers or poets or musicians or painters' own imagination, how we look at things. We do not copy things as they are, but we have our own sense of imagination. We may beautify the things also. Just for example, you see a flower in a garden. Okay, so you see that, you feel it's beautiful. Now a person immediately takes up the mobile and takes a picture of that flower. Right. Now this flower can be clicked through various angles. A good photographer will choose the right angle to make the flower look more beautiful. So that is the creativity added by the artist. That is the photographer. So it is not just copying. It is creativity added into it. So that is mimesis. Mimesis means imitation of a real thing with the creativity of the author. So these all fine arts, they imitate something. Imitation is a common principle of all arts. Musician imitates not outward form of appearances, but he presents the inward world of feel. See, some music, some kind of music, that may evoke happiness. Some music instrument, it seems to be very romantic. He strikes the vocal, he strikes the chords of the music, and some very happy romantic feelings come into our heart. So some maybe, some make us very sad. So this inward world of human feelings, passions, emotions, inner life of man, that is also depicted. So that is also imitation with your own creativity added to it. So all the arts will differ from one another in three ways. These fine arts, painting, sculpture, and all these things which have been named just now, along with all the others that may be coming to your mind. So these all things, these all arts, different forms of arts, they differ from one another in three ways. Like medium. In literature, it is words. In music, it is instruments, vocal cords, right? So in this way, the medium of imitation may be different. They differ in their objects of imitation. They also differ in the manner of the mode that of carrying out that imitation. So all arts differ from one another in three ways. Right? Now, see, medium or means of imitation. Colors, sounds. Music will use rhythm. It's vocal than language, harmony. Poetry uses words. Paintings and sculpture may use color. So these are the things. Then the object of imitation is human beings. They may be performing nature. They are the different objects of imitation. So men performing, experiencing something. Now these men, they may be good, they may be bad. So art would represent human beings. Either more than, it always, it is larger than life, we say. If someone is good, then art may make him appear better. If someone is bad, art can make him appear worse. So object of imitation are different in each art. In poetry, some poets present men better than reality as they are, lower than reality, worse. So this is the basic difference between tragedy and comedy. Tragedy will present men better than reality. That is why you find the person so good, so good, so good, and then that you see the downfall of that person. You feel sad. Comedy will present a person in a lower mode because it is some lighter side of the life that they are showing. Who is in the lobby? Just let me take that person.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, what is
I,
the difference between medium and object?
I'll be coming to that. Just wait. The things will be clear. Medium is the, see, object is human being. Medium can be color,
Yeah.
how the person is painted. It may be sound or the music that sings about human beings, nature of the human beings. So medium is a means, it's a vehicle. On that vehicle, what is loaded is object.
And basically, medium is used to glorify the object, like to bring
Yes,
that
true.
in
That
limelight.
is the medium, right? So now the third thing is manner. For Aristotle, before that, for Aristotle, imitation was not limited to outer appearance, it was inner also. It was a reproduction of human nature. Nature is something which is inner. Actions can be outward action, it can be inner. All the thinking, thought process is inner action. So imitation becomes a creative process. Now coming to the third part, that is manner. Different arts imitate objects in different manners. There may be three modes of it. A poet may use the mode of narration throughout. You have studied some narrative poetries. It goes on and on. Ramayana, Mahabharata, they are all narrative poetries. Right? Then a poet may use narration as well as dialogues by the character. So Homer used to write poetry, classical, that is classical literature, in that mode. Then the poet may present the whole story in a dramatic manner. You know, there's a kind of a poetry in last year you would have done that dramatic monologue. In dramas, you have soliloquies, which is presented in dramatic, in a verse form. So, for Aristotle, the manner of imitation helps us to classify poetry into epic, narrative, and descriptive. Narrative poetry, when it goes too long, it has grand theme, all these conditions are fulfilled, then it's also known as epic poetry. So Ramayana, Mahabharata, it belongs to epic poetry because the style is narrative, it goes on, and the themes, the characters, they all make it epic. They are not just narrative poetry, but they are upscaled to epic level. The dramatic poetry is divided into, if it ends in some sad way, and so it becomes tragedy. If it is a happy thing, then it becomes a comedy, right? So for Aristotle, the manner of imitation helps us to classify poetry into these ways. It is further divided into tragedy and comedy on the basis of the objects of representation. We'll see how this is happening. This
Ma'am,
is something very vast. Yes.
ma'am, like in dramas, objects are the characters. The characters are represented, na?
The characters may be represented, nature may be represented, trees, flowers,
Yeah, okay.
lands, the entire landscape, that is also represented. So in
Yes.
this way, poetry differs from all other arts on the basis of medium, objects, and manner. Mode, object, manner. Okay. Now, how did drama originate? Let's remember that when we study literature, the oldest literature is classical literature. That means it is Roman literature, Egyptian literature. They all come. They are called classical literature. Okay. So this Roman Greek literature. So Aristotle traces the origin and development of poetry in human life. Drama came later. It is poetry that came before drama. Poetry basically is anything which is written in verse form. But then you introduce characters also, and the characters speak in verse form. Then in this way drama came into existence. All the classical dramas, and even later, they were written in verse form. You see in Shakespeare also, you have done King Lear. There also you saw that so many things are written in verse forms. So originally it is poetry that came first, and then when poetry had characters introduced into it, characters speaking for themselves, then it was called drama. So Aristotle considers that origin of poetry lies into two instincts. First is that the human beings, they had the impulse, natural impulse to imitate the things. Such impulse is found even in children. You see how children, they are imitative. Whatever elders would do, they would repeat it. They would say those things, they would try to do those things. So that is the natural instinct in human beings to imitate. So this impulse in man to imitate is also one of the reasons for writing poetry of literature. Man wants to imitate, so literature comes into the scene. Secondly, that from literature or from arts or from poetry, we human beings derive delight. When we recognize, oh, how beautiful the life is shown in these words, how beautiful life is shown in this picture, how beautiful life is shown in this music. So good imitation gives us delight, we recognize it, we appreciate it. In arts, in poetry, we also appreciate the things which are not beautiful. See the violence that takes place in drama. We appreciate that is such an ugly sight. We don't want to look into it. But still, in drama, how we just enjoy those fights and violence and such things happening. So then there's an instinct of getting pleasure in harmony and rhythm. Poetry, rhythm, it's rhythmical. So poetry grew out of these natural instincts. So what is imitation? How imitation is a creative process? We have just discussed this. Aristotle was a disciple of Plato. Okay, so Plato said that literature is just imitation. Arts is just imitation. He said that such people who just copy, make replica of things, they should be banished from the kingdom. Plato was dead against the poets. So Aristotle took this term mimesis from Plato. Plato considered poetry literature merely a replica, a blind copying. So he said that all the people of literature, they should be banished from the kingdom. All the musicians should be banished from the kingdom. All the poets should be banished from the kingdom. Right? Please, there are 16 students, so just take that attendance of these 16 students, someone. Okay. So, for Aristotle, literature is an act of creative vision. A poet takes his material from the phenomenal in the world. Phenomenal means something which is happening in the world, real thing. But he makes that real thing, phenomenal thing, something new by adding his own imagination to it. A poet may deal with the facts from the past, from established beliefs, something that has been established, which is truth. He may take from something from the past, then he transforms them into something universal and permanent. Just you see what happens in King Lear. In 16th century, 15th century, some king, he is voluntarily giving up his work and he is giving this, he has transferred all his power to his daughters. And how his daughters, they kick him out. The old poor man just lost his kingdom, all the power. So this thing happens at one place in England, and see how it travels time, space, and in 21st century in India or say in any other country also, the same theme may be taking place even now in some form or other. So this is the art of Shakespeare, that he writes a story about kingship, monarchy, which is relevant in democratic nations after say 500 years of time. Something that took place in England is relevant in India, and it's as much relevant in African countries. So what the poet is doing, he is transforming some universal or permanent characteristics of human life. So poetic imitation involves creative faculty, the faculty of our mind which is creative, which helps us create things, is involved in imitation. Poetry is not a blind imitation, but our creative faculty is utilized in this process, in the process of imitation. That is why it is mimesis. So poetry is thus more philosophical than history. So Aristotle, he disagreed with this charge against poetry. Plato called poetry mother of lies, because he says the poet is the is the biggest liar. Okay, so he brought out the higher truth. But Aristotle says that it is the poets who bring out the higher truth, which cannot be seen. What you called reality, the reality sometimes is something which is not visible to us, and the poet will bring those things which are invisible to us to the normal eyes. He will bring higher truth in the form of art. Now this again is a term which is used in Aristotle's Poetics, catharsis. Why do we go and watch the tragedy? We see people dying, we see people killing each other, we see lovers being separated, and when we say that literature or the aim of drama is delight, then do we get delight when someone dies, someone gets separated? Why do we go? So Aristotle gives answer to this question also. Basically, why Aristotle wrote Poetics? Because he wanted to answer his own teacher, Plato. Plato in Republic had said that poets should be banished. So Aristotle in Republic says that poets should be banished. Aristotle in Poetics says no. Poets are doing the great work. They are bringing higher truth into light. He is answering Plato's charge. Plato's charge was that the poetic drama feeds and waters the passions instead of starving them, and as such encourages anarchy in the soul. He says that the poets, they all show how much human being is filled up with passions of love, anger, and all those things, and these things should be controlled. Person should be made logical. So poets create anarchy, disturbance in the soul. But Aristotle says no, poetry does not create disturbance in the soul. But all the emotions that are just suppressed in our hearts, they are channelized. They flow in a regulated manner. And when the emotions, they come out of a person in a regulated manner, then the person's heart is at peace and he becomes healthy. When you go on suppressing your emotions, all your passions, then the body falls ill. So the poetics is about the art of the poetry. It focuses on epic and tragedy. See, I'm just tracing how the drama came into existence. So in this book, Poetics, there are 26 chapters. And out of these 26 chapters, 14 chapters are on tragedy. Aristotle gave so much of importance to tragedy. He said that this epic and tragedy, which are both the different forms of drama, he said that these are the ideal forms of literature. And what is catharsis? He says that catharsis is, when our emotions, they come
Catharsis
out
of
in a,
emotion.
yeah, catharsis of emotions means these emotions, when they come out of an individual in a regulated manner, and a person is now at ease. So this is catharsis. Emotions coming out and a person returning back to his ease. Dis-ease, disease. What is the spelling of disease? Ease के आगे आप dis लगा दो. Opposite of ease. Ease means calm. When our body loses its calmness, it is diseased. That is disease. So Aristotle says that catharsis removes dis from disease and a person comes to calm, to ease. Okay, how does a poet do this? By evoking pity and fear. The function of the tragedy is to evoke pity, to arouse fear in human beings. This is his theory of catharsis. He says that there are different kinds of fears in human beings. Some fears are collective, some fears are individual. It may be some danger. Some person may feel that मुझे कोई मारने आ रहा है, पीटने आ रहा है, या मुझे कोई बीमारी ना हो जाए, या how will I go on with the life because I have met with so many tragic things in life. So any vague feeling of danger, insecurity or anxiety. Some inexplicable event that have occurred, some awful thing that has occurred in life, or there is any kind of guilt in us. We have committed some error and there is a guilt in us. So there is a fear that we may be punished. So these all fears, they are expressed in tragedy. So when we watch tragedy, our own fears, they become activated. We feel with that person, and those emotions, they then are released in a regulated manner. Then pity. When we see some person whom we think that he did not deserve such kind of end, such kind of misfortune, undeserved misfortune, then our pity is aroused. So pity is also sort of pain we feel that, oh, why this person is suffering so much? He didn't deserve that. Why King Lear is suffering so much? After all, he is an old man. He committed just a small error in his life. And because of that, he is now homeless and he is in storms and he is losing his, he may even die. He has lost his sanity of mind. He is becoming mad. Gloucester, he becomes blind. So they didn't suffer so much, deserve so much, and how much they suffer, that is out of proportion. So we feel pity on them. So what is happening basically, that within us, we were in fear, and now seeing them suffering, there's a fear that we may also suffer, because these people who were so in a higher status, who were so strong, see how they are suffering. We feel pity over them, and at the same time we are feeling fear for us. So we feel pity for others, fear for ourselves, if we are placed in those circumstances. So pity and fear, they are closely related emotions. Now, this is important for you. Who is tragic hero according to Aristotle? He says tragic hero is the hero, this person should be good. Right? This person should be good, but not too good. If he becomes too good, then he is like God. He is good means he is a human being. He has got some fault in him. Otherwise, he is very good. And if he's too good like God, and then we see him falling into misery, then this will repel us. This will be something hateful. So his fall would not arouse pity. It will arouse shock. How can that be? This perfect man falling, how can that be possible? But when that person has some weakness, then we feel, okay, we also have some weakness. And then we feel pity on that person. Similarly, if some wicked person is in misery, right? If there is a wicked person who is very wicked, and that person is falling into misery, we will say, okay, this is good. Such person deserves such kind of misery. So there is no tragedy there.
Ma'am, I didn't get the line. His fall will not arouse pity, for he is not like us, and his undeserved fall would only shock and disgust.
Yes, a person who is too perfect, if he falls from his position, we do not feel pity on that person. We are shocked.
Okay.
Okay, because we do not identify ourselves with that person.
Yes, ma'am.
But if that person has some weaknesses, then we identify ourselves with that person and then we say, okay, this is a matter of pity. We are not shocked. Right?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
so according to Aristotle, perfectly good or utterly wicked people, they cannot be the heroes of tragedy. Tragic hero is not depraved or vicious. He's not a bad person. But he is not perfect. See, King Lear was not a villain. Was he a villain?
No, ma'am.
For such a long time he had been a king. He had so many good friends and who would not leave him. So certainly he had some good qualities. Right? He loved his daughters. We cannot say that he was a bad father. He was an abusive father. We cannot say that. But then
Ma'am,
there was a
so is it kind of an anti-hero, something kind of a thing?
no, this word doesn't come here now. He is a tragic hero because who is perfect in this world? But just because of small slip, that is his ego, that too when he was 80 years of age, he's such an old man. Now this person, then he has his ego, and because of that he has decided that he will give his property to three kingdom. He will divide into three parts. But then it happens, okay, he doesn't divide it into three parts because one of the daughter publicly says that I will have to love my husband, and so this old man, he is enraged. गुस्सा आ जाता है उसको. 80 years का आदमी है. Just see his age. Okay, what he did was not correct. But then, just because of this fault, being in the storm and having no place to go, just that small moment washes all the good things that he had done in his life. Are we perfect? In our life, we may also make such a slip. And if such a thing happens to us, the fear and hence the pity. Right? Literature makes us sensitive. We realize that such a great king who had ruled for so many years, he had spent his whole life ruling the kingdom. So many moments would have come in his life where he stood victorious. We are not counting that. What we are fixed upon it, that why did he do such a thing with his daughter Cordelia? Okay. What he did is not correct, right? But that was an error. Are we not committing error on a daily basis? Are we perfect? But as long as our errors do not lead to such tragic end, we overlook those errors. But what if any fine day, one of our errors turns our fortune into misfortune? Do we realize that? And whenever we think about it, we are shaken up with the fear. And such plays, when we see on the stage, they force us to think that this misfortune can fall upon any person if it can fall upon such a strong king. Right? So such a person is called tragic hero. So this was what I just wanted to tell you about Aristotle. Now coming back to our unit of drama. Okay, so what did Aristotle think? How did drama originate? What were the important concepts in the drama which Aristotle laid down? This is what we have done so far. So I think this would have been somewhat clear to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we move to the next point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
now we would jump to, because we do not have such time that we could give to history of drama. So we just simply directly come here to 20th century drama, right? So in this, when we talk about 20th century drama, there is something which we called expressionist drama. Okay, realistic drama, then naturalistic drama. So these are the terms that come. Absurd drama, these are the terms that come into play. Okay, so first let's talk about expressionist drama. What is this expressionist drama? There was, in early 20th century, there was expressionist movement. Okay, and this came first in Germany, or you may say German theater, expressionist drama. There were many expressionist dramatists, and what is basically what we are doing in this kind of drama? You know, drama was at that time, before that time, it had declined to just representation of superficial reality. Okay, so this drama is trying to project reality to the audience. So the other characters who are there, they become the, you may say, projection of the main character, who is a protagonist, his own personality. So this is something, since we have not done youth drama, important dramatist was like Eugene O'Neill. So he's not in your syllabus, so I just can't describe it more. So we can leave it at this point, and we can discuss problem play, because that is in your syllabus. Doll's House, it's a problem play. Then during our class we had discussed, though Bernard Shaw is not in your syllabus, but we have discussed Bernard Shaw also. So what is problem play? This problem play was popularized by Norwegian playwright Henrik Ibsen through his play Doll's House. So in this, you know, author is showing some contemporary problem, social problem, using character. Character here speaks for the author. Doll's House, Nora, she is giving her own perspective, which is the writer's perspective. In the other play which we are doing, Look Back in Anger, Jimmy's views actually are seen to be the dramatist's views. George Bernard Shaw, he wrote Arms the Man. So that is also drama of ideas. Problem plays are also called drama, drama of ideas. So here each character in problem plays becomes the vehicle of ideas. Okay, so let me see the PPT that I had used for this. Just give me a second. Just a second, I will take and just tell me when you are able to see this PPT. Can you say it now?
No, ma'am, it's not visible.
Not
No,
visible.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, not visible.
Okay. Is it visible now?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Yeah, it should be now. Okay?
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this 20th century drama, it comes after World War One, right? And we have done Greek drama. Aristotle, he was writing about Greek drama at that time. So drama from Greece and different other various countries, they come to England, French, France, and Italian drama, and these all things, they are influencing each other. So Western drama becomes internationally unified. It's now called Western drama. We do not study in this way like Norwegian, this. No, we do not. We just unify them, right? So expressionism or expressionist drama is a dramatic technique. After World War One, society losing its faith in God. There is no faith in society as well. Human beings, they have lost, basically. There is loss of faith. So that kind of angst, anger. Angst means anger, dissatisfaction, alienation, separated from all, being alone. So such feelings come into the drama. So these dramatists, they convey the dehumanizing aspects of 20th century technological society. That's why not much of a scenery is there. Okay, it's minimal scenery. Then the dialogues, they are very broken, jarred, no complete sentences, just telegraphic dialogues between the characters. Talking machines. So these things are shown. How technology is becoming important here. And human communication is all broken up, it is jarred. Who were the dramatists? O'Neill, as I said, Ernest Toller is a dramatist, T.S. Eliot, Auden, Christopher Fry. Now these are the writers.
Ma'am, so Look Back in Anger, is it a expressionist drama?
No, I'll tell you how. Why? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then here you have about this brief history of it from this painting, French, then German art dealer. He popularized it. Okay. So these artists, they did not feel this commitment that they have to depict the reality, everyday reality. This is why Look Back in Anger is not expressionist drama. Everyday reality is shown there, right? Now these dramatists, they were not bothered about reality. They were just escaping the realities. Whatever was in the dreams of a man, those things were portrayed. So action, language, it was throbbed with nervous energy. That is why discontinuity. Too much of energy. So that flow is broken up everywhere. All the dramatic unities, this I could not discuss because of lack of time, but Aristotle had given 3 unities also. Unity of time, place, action. These are all discarded. Okay. So narrative line frequently being series of stations. As I told you that the train is not discussed, but various platforms are discussed, are shown. So the plot is all broken up in expressionist drama.
So, ma'am, what is the difference between expressionist and realistic? Because in both the reality is only depicted,
No,
na?
here in expressionist drama, reality is not depicted. This is what I'm saying. Dream imagery is shown. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And here, whatever dramas we have done, we have got a well knit plot. These acts are there. Acts are connected with each other. Unity of place is also there. At one place itself, all the things are happening in one room, one city, within that time, right?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
yeah. So what kind of language is there? Diction is fragmented, grammar is violated, sentences are collapsed. So the drama for this theater, in theater, sets have become very simple, angled, distorted, right? Everything is in fragments. There is no connection between these different fragments. Okay, so this is what has happened in this kind of drama. Now,
Ma'am means in expressionist drama, the dramatist try to escape the reality.
yes, they try to escape the reality. It is based on, see here, see this 10th point. It is based on psychological realism,
Okay, ma'am.
basically inner mind.
Mm-hmm.
So man daily cheats himself into believing something.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a realism according to these people. It is illusion. What appears real is just appearance. It is not real according to them.
Okay.
So these are all the characteristics that I am just skipping because at 4 o'clock I have to end the class. So sometime again we can do this. Or I have got these classes for 3 days, 1 hour classes. So I can continue this or we can discuss King Lear tomorrow. Whatever you say. What do you think? Should I continue with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, and you don't want King. Okay, one thing we'll do, we'll continue from here, and at the same time, after half of the time, I will devote to this, and rest of the time, I will deal with King Lear. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
This is what we can do tomorrow. And day after tomorrow,
Yes,
again, we
ma'am.
will decide. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
So,
timing will be the same.
timing is going to be same, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so today again we have got no time left for doubt clearance, though you are asking whatever doubts you are having in between, but tomorrow again 15 minutes I would devote only for doubt clearance. Okay,
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, most
Yes,
welcome. And
thank
I
you.
think pictures, I think all of you have taken the photos that were required and the attendance, because this attendance is very essential today for these
Yes, ma'am.
classes. So have you clicked that list of the students who are present here? 15 attendees are there. All right. So please take the attendance of all the 15 students who are present in class today. And if you want, you can even switch on the videos. And again, we can have those who did not have their attendance can have now. And so I think now we can leave. Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
be
Thank you.
prepared. So be prepared for tomorrow, and you can just explore more of this expressionist drama. And tomorrow, I think we can discuss in detail then, right?
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
okay, most welcome. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.